Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ryan Wells here with Blue Line Optics, coming at you again with another video. This one is going to be about the different Athlon spotting scopes that are out there, and especially the different ones that we carry. Now, Athlon is pretty new to the game, right? And we get questions about them all the time. And they're new to the game in terms of companies like Bushnell and Vortex, Leopold, just companies that have been out there for a pretty long time. So a lot of people still consider them pretty relatively untested. I disagree, because they keep on just releasing hit after hit after hit, like the Aries ETR, the Aries BTR, the Argus BTR, all those kinds of optics. They've found some way of manufacturing them for a cost much lower than what the competition is doing it. So they're offering like all these crazy features, well, not crazy features, but all of these extremely high quality features for a pretty crazy low price, and they seem to be holding up pretty well. Anyway, they're disrupting the industry, and we get a lot of questions about them. And so today what we want to do when we're looking at the different spotting scopes that they offer is we want to take a look at, they have all these cool features and everything, right? But do they hold up? Are they worth the money? And is your money maybe better spent elsewhere, or is this actually going to be the best bang for your buck? So without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we take a look at all the different Athlon spotting scopes that are out there and what their different features are, we want to go ahead and take a look at what makes for a good spotting scope in general. Okay, so for spotting scopes, we use them to spot rounds, especially in precision rifle shooting. Now, if you're hunting, you're obviously going to use it to spot wildlife and other targets like that too. But with precision rifle shooting, you're using it to focus on the target that you're at, see where the round landed, and then make adjustments from there. Now, what's really important with that, by far the most important thing, is how clear is the picture that you're getting. Because if you're shooting at a really long distance, say like 1,500 yards, it's quite a ways away, there really isn't much room for error there. I mean, there's not much room for error for you shooting in terms of your adjustments and stuff like that, but there isn't much room for error in terms of lens quality and lens clarity, because you're gonna need a really sharp image to see where that round landed. Now, there's gonna be a bunch of different features that make up the lens clarity there, but one of the most important features of a good spotting scope is the clear glass and the glass quality. Okay, does it have ED glass? Does it have an apochromatic lens system? Those are going to be much higher quality lens systems, whereas something like the Talus, which we'll get into a little bit later, doesn't have as high quality of glass there, so the picture isn't going to be near as perfect. So farther out it's not going to be as good as it would with something like the Cronus. And then we want to take a look at coatings. Coatings are important because spotting scopes in particular are at a risk of bouncing off or reflecting almost 50% of the light that comes in through the objective lens. And this is because they have so many different lenses and like the prism assembly and different lens systems on the inside of the spotting scope, like the magnification adjustment. By the time the light that came in through the objective lens gets to you at the ocular lens, they're at a high risk of losing a lot of that light, which is going to make the picture at that far of a distance, just a lot lower quality. We use lens coatings to help prevent against that. So the first optic that we're going to talk about is the Talus. So the Talus runs around $150, and that's pretty cheap considering the features that it's got and how high of quality it is. It doesn't really get that fuzzy till it's out to a pretty far range. But without further ado, let's actually get into the different features that it has, which is actually going to make up that quality. So it only comes in one model. The one model features a 20 to 60 magnification adjustment, and then it's got an 80mm objective lens here. And that 80mm objective lens is actually what is making that picture quality as good as it is, even though it doesn't feature the ED glass. And that's one thing to keep in mind, is that this is priced as low as it is because it doesn't have ED glass or an apochromatic lens system. Not to mention the prisms. It has K9 prisms, which aren't as high quality as BK7 prisms or BAK4 prisms. The Cronus and the Aries are going to have BAK4 prisms, which are considered to be a lot more high quality. They're just in a different they're in a different spectrum. But that doesn't mean that it's a low quality optic. I mean, all the lenses are fully multi-coated. So I was talking about earlier, when light waves hit an optic, they run into the risk of reflecting a lot of the light that's out there, or that's coming in through the objective lens. Especially spotting scopes are running the risk of losing up to 50% of the light that comes through them before it gets to the ocular lens, which is going to make your target pretty blurry if you're losing most of the light that gets there, or before it gets there. Now, all that said, this is actually a pretty high quality spotting scope for the price. It doesn't have those hardcore features like the Cronus does or the Aries does, but I get pretty good results with it. I usually recommend it for people who are looking for a budget spotting scope. One other feature is that it's nitrogen purged, so that's going to help with with your waterproofing. What that does is basically all the seals where the lenses meet, those are purged with nitrogen so that it stops extra water molecules and excess molecules and everything from getting in there and fogging up your lenses. All right, the next spotting scope up that we're going to be talking about is the Aries. Okay, so the Aries is next up from the Talus, except that it's probably even a little bit higher up than the Talus is. Not to say the Talus is like low quality or anything like that, but the Aries they really went all out with, right? And it's only right below the Cronus, just because it doesn't have that edge-to-edge clarity that the Cronus will. The Cronus, regardless of what magnification you're going to be at, it's going to be crystal clear pictures when you're looking through the ocular lens, and that's just because of how it's built. I mean, they spared no expense, and I mean the price tag shows it. The Cronus can cost up to $1,500, whereas the Aries right here, this one with the 15 to 45 magnification, is $599.99. So this is actually the spotting scope a lot of people go with when they go with Athlon optics. I mean, it's just a really, really well put together spotting scope. It's got an apochromatic system, and it's got ED glass and fully multi-coated optics. Other than that, it's got an extremely durable chassis. This is incredibly high quality, right? Like you could probably put this thing through the ringer, and I wouldn't be too worried about it. Not to mention they back it up with their lifetime warranty. So obviously they're saying they believe that that this can stand up to whatever kind of damage that you put it through. And then of course they have BAK4 prisms, which are just a little bit higher quality than BK7 prisms. Not to the point to where that would be like a no buy for me or anything like that if it did have BK7 prisms or anything, but BAK4 prisms tend to be a little bit higher quality and featured in much higher quality optics. This one right here is the 15 to 45 magnification adjustment with the 65 millimeter objective lens. They also have a higher and a lower magnification. The higher is the 20 to 60 magnification adjustment with an 80 millimeter objective lens, and the lower is, I believe it's the 15 to 35 or 15 to 25, right around there, with the magnification adjustment. That's the only one that I haven't used. I've used the higher one and this one too. Now, other little cosmetic features that you have right here would be the twist up eye cups, which are great. It's just going to add to the eye relief there for you, just in case when you have your eye really up close to the spotting scope, sometimes you're not getting the best picture there. That twist up eye cup tends to take care of that. You got the sunshade here, the extendable sunshade, so just in case you're having a little bit of extra light on that on whatever day you're taking it out. And then another cool feature about it is the rotating ring here, which is nice. Sometimes you just have it up and you need to just be able to see, you need to be able to just place this rather than placing your head in a different position, if that makes sense. And that's gonna make it a little bit more comfortable for you. So that's the Aries right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Cronus now. And so finally we come to the Cronus. Now the Cronus line of like optics with Athlon tends to be their higher quality and their higher end line, and the spotting scope does not disappoint. I mean, this thing is just jam-packed with features, and it definitely holds up to it. Now it's a little bit pricier than the other two, and I mean it's actually a lot pricier than the other two. This right here is the 20 to 60 magnification adjustment, and it is about $1,500 last time I checked. I think at $1,499.99. But like I said, it's just jam-packed with features. What's great about the Cronus line of scopes and the Cronus line of optics, in general with Athlon is that they feature edge-to-edge clarity. It's got ED glass, the apochromatic lens system, BAK4 prisms, fully multi-coated. Not to mention, it's got an extra layer of what's called XPL coating on the outside on the outside lenses here. That's going to really help prevent them from getting all scratched up by like dirt and dust or anything like that while you take it out and about. It's also got a magnesium chassis, which makes it just as durable as an aluminum chassis, except it's going to be a lot lighter. So if you feel this is actually probably weighs not like as little as the Athlon Aries, but it's, you know, it's right there with it. You know, you don't really notice it too terribly much. And then it's got argon purging, which tends to be more effective than what nitrogen purging is. The molecules are bigger, so since the molecules are bigger, they take up more of a space in the seals, which is going to help stop the water from coming in there as well. Another really cool feature of the Cronus is that it's got these dual focus knobs here, and that's just gonna, number one, allow you to get a better focus on whatever it is that you're looking at, but it's also gonna help you make that adjustment, you know, a lot quicker. So that being said, this one, like I said, the 20 to 60 magnification adjustment one is about $1,500. You can get the lower magnification adjustment for about $600. So that wraps up Athlon Spotting Scopes for today. If you guys really like this video, go ahead and share it with a friend that you think would be really interested in learning more about them, and let me know what you think. You know, what do you think about the quality and the content? I really love all your feedback. Leave them in the comments below. Also, leave in the comments which one of these is actually one that you actually would consider maybe taking a look at and maybe purchasing or something like that for yourself, especially if you're in the market for a spotting scope. At the end of the day, I do highly recommend these. They're all extremely high quality, just depending on what kind of price point you're in. Other than that, see you later.